TRC EDC, back again with another knife video. This is the Protech Godfather, and this is a beast of a knife. It's actually pretty big. Let's go ahead and start off with some size comparisons. So here is the Paramilitary 2, Paramilitary 3. As you can see, it's a big knife. It's a biggin, even though it's so skinny. Here's the Benchmade Freak, Super Freak, Ontario Rat 1. Here's the Benchmade 940 and the Benchmade Griptilian. And just so you can see some larger knives, here is the Benchmade Contigo and Spyderco Shaman. Okay, so you can really see this as a large knife. Now, with that being said, when you have large knives like the Shaman and the Contigo, you feel like that's hard use. And I'll tell you right off the bat, this is not a hard use knife. It's an automatic, and we'll get into more of that later. But let's talk about the good and the bad. Okay, so what's good about this knife? So what's good about this knife is the action. I mean, Protech really has amazing action on their automatics. I mean, it just flies out there. It gives that nice thwack, even with the blade being so light the way it is. It's just amazing the way it flies out, and it gives you a really nice auditory feedback, that thwack, and it gives you a nice haptic feedback where it really hits hard in the hand. So that's one of the things that's really nice about it. Also, the fit and finish on this is mostly good. I say mostly because you can see a couple of things. Hold on. The micarta is not flush with the aluminum, which I was a little disappointed for. But mostly the fit and finish on this is pretty good. None of the screws are sticking up. The button here is flushed so that you don't accidentally deploy it in your pocket. Everything's screwed down pretty tightly. There's no other real obvious signs of issues. The only other thing is the centering is a little bit off, which doesn't really matter that much on a automatic. All right, and so what else is good about this? I really like the feel of the micarta. It feels extremely polished. It feels a little bit at times like plastic, but it's because of this, it's so highly polished. But it feels really good over time, especially when it gets wet. You can really feel that it doesn't get grippy. It just gets like your fingers don't slide over it as much as they normally would. So that's pretty interesting. Let's talk about the bad. So the bad is, I really would have liked to see a deep pocket clip on this, but that's not a big deal. It's personal preference. The centering issues and the fit and finish, like I said, it's good, but it's also not good. There's also some issues with it. One of the other things that I don't like is the way this pocket clip sits up over here. I feel like that's going to snag on something. Just the way that's designed, it is down far enough that hopefully it wouldn't, but it's just something that's worth pointing out. Another issue is the blade. So the blade, while made of a good steel, 154 cm, which many of the Protechs are, and despite having a good coating on here, it's really thin stock. It's a thin blade. It's not very tall, and the stock on it is really thin. So to give you an idea of how thin the stock is, here's Paramilitary 2. And you can see it's much thinner than the Paramilitary 2 stock. Let's look at, for instance, the Benchmade Freak. Again, much thinner stock once you get past here, because they really thin out the entire thing. It's not just like it's only this flat that is a decently thick stock. So I do feel, although I'm not planning on prying with this, I don't have much confidence in the strength of the blade. I could be wrong about that. Maybe you can jam this into as many things as you want, but it's just not confidence inspiring, and I don't want to risk this on an expensive knife. One of the other things that is not good about this is the price. The price is about $280. You have to think about what you're getting here for that. Again, you're getting 154 cm. You're getting aluminum handles with micarta scales. I just feel like in this day and age, aluminum micarta are. I'd like to see some higher quality materials like titanium or something go into some automatics. I have no idea why automatics aren't incorporating titanium like many of the other aspects of the knife market. It could be because there's only a handful of companies that have cornered the market here. Maybe they, you know, I'm not saying there's collusion, but maybe they just decided it's not worth, you know, cutting into the margins, to put it that way. This is sharpened only on one side. It's not sharpened here. Obviously, you can't sharpen it here, otherwise you never get it closed. But again, so I think that recaps most of what I have to say on the bad. Other than that, this knife is pretty straightforward. There's not a whole lot to it. And I guess the simplicity of it actually can be thought of as a good thing. But in the meantime, I think that's all I have to say about it. I did decide to trade this knife. It's going to be going out, and I'm going to be getting a custom, it's got custom scales and custom thumb discs and everything. It's an Emerson Sheepdog Bowie. So hopefully that'll be coming in, and I can show that on the channel. It's not the normal type of thing that I would normally trade for, but I figured I'd like to experience some different things for the channel and get some more content for the channel. So I went ahead and got that. It's also, the customization makes it feel a little bit more worth it to trade this for. I will say one thing is that these don't hold their value particularly well in the secondary market, just so you're aware. So these go for about like $280 or so new. On the secondary market, you're gonna have trouble selling them at about $200. So just be aware of that if you decide to get one. And I usually recommend any knife that doesn't hold its value on the secondary market, buy it on the secondary market, because let someone else take the loss. Okay, if you want to get something that is going to hold its value or increase in value, buy it new. All the sprint runs that Spyderco releases, they usually go up in value. So buy those new or don't buy them. That's my opinion anyway. Unless you really, really have to have one. Like if you're looking at the Rec Para 3 as being your ultimate grail. Anyway, I'm getting very far afield. I'm going to go ahead and leave it at that. This is the Protech Godfather. I'm not going to put this on my recommend list, but I did enjoy having it, but I'm not going to put this on my recommend list. In any event, have a great time. Have a great night. Go ahead and like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe. Hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you get all the notifications of any of my videos coming out. Thank you so much.